All right, so now we're gonna start our appreciation weekend by firstly talking about what is our passion. Also, what is your passion?
Okay, so the reason we actually started, from my side, why we actually started PYP was because I was actually in search of my passion. Before, I actually don't have a passion as of now because back when I was young, I used to, my passion was tennis, and I really wanted to get into tennis, but I couldn't. So right now, I'm looking forward to search my new passion, and I believe that's why I believe PYP can actually help me get through this, and I can start practicing my passion.
Okay. From my end, I'd say my passion has always been very diverse. It started off with football. I went to extent of liking guys like Drogba. Then it came down to I used to like coaching, like not really coaching football players, but the feeling that a coach has and they're actually watching their players on the field play. So I used to look up to guys like Jose Mourinho. I used to like watching some of his interviews and some of the stuff he'd say would actually really get to me, make me think about some of the stuff that I can apply to my life and the way he coaches his team. Then we have in music, that's when I kind of went a step up of actually creating some of my own material. I think I released an album of about 5 or 6 songs. Music was really interesting because it had to do with a lot of creativity. At the same time, it had to do with a lot of listening skills from other artists and taking constructive criticism positively. And even though like I wasn't the best out there, music was one of those things that allowed me to express myself passionately. I came up with the film name of DLT. I came up with an album named Feelings on Papers. I got to work with different people, such as there was actually a producer that I worked with at Sandway School. He's now in Turkey studying. His name was Joshua, and he showed me some of his bits and the way he mixes the songs, and I was super like fascinated by the way he did everything, literally. And my friend Imani would send me some of his bits too, and I guess that's the reason why like I started taking music to an extra mile, and I realized I was actually passionate about it. But then it reached a point whereby my passion was more based on just getting people to accept my mindset in music. It wasn't something that I would love for myself. It wasn't about, it was more of a selfish mindset that I had. Like, I'm doing this so that people out there can listen and be like, wow, this guy is super talented. We should like associate ourselves with him. So, yeah. Moving on to the next question. What would you want to take out of PYP, like the end goal?
Mm, you mean for the company or for an individual?
Company-wise and individual. You can start with individual-wise and then company-wise.
The best thing about PYP is it's something what you're really passionate about. So when you actually have a goal where you're passionate about, it can take you to places. So it's actually scary and exciting at the same time because that's what passion does to you. Like unlike an 8-hour job, which you know that okay, for all my life I'm supposed to wake up at 7 in the morning, come back at 3, do this, do this. But what I'm really excited about, practicing my passion and talking about where it take me is the best part is I don't really know, but the thing is that's where faith, belief, and patience comes in picture.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I think. I just wanted to take me to places until I'm actually truly passionate about it, and till the time I don't fake it.
Yeah. That's actually powerful. Yesterday I was actually watching a video by Obama. He was talking about how before he became president, some of the challenges that he went through. And it got to me because, when someone's just POTUS, right, they look at him like a significant figure that hasn't gone through like life the way anyone else in the world is literally going through it. He actually went through really messed up challenges, and that actually kind of shaped his mindset to do certain things that he doesn't really regret doing it, but at the same time, he's like, such stuff is what actually molded him to think better in a deeper capacity of what can I do to other people. So, and then there was Obama, and then there's this other guy called Joe Austin. I once watched one of his videos, and he was talking about the power of serving other people. And I feel like company-wise, Practice Your Passion is a platform that actually literally just serves other people. It's like we feel like a lot of people are on the ground, and we Practice Your Passion is like this plane that's coming down and landing on the what do you call that place, the runway, and literally telling guys, we're about to fly this plane, get as much as your stuff, your passionate stuff, your ideas, your creativity, get it all into the plane, make sure it's packed in so that we can start flying this thing together and make the world like a better place, so that your story can become successful, at the same time inspire other people who will feel completely lost in translation. So with that being said, I feel like Practice Your Passion is not a one-man show. Neither is it something that can just be said like we're doing this out of self-interest, but it's more about serving other people. It's teaching us to actually listen, hear out, at the same time create create a communication channel that can allow guys who don't have a voice for themselves to voice out how they really feel about this whole idea of life, and what they would want out of it, but what they can give back to make the world a better place. So coming down to the next question, is connected to the previous question, is who inspires you?
Mhm. Okay, the first primary reason, the most basic person I started following in 2018 was Gary Vaynerchuk. He's actually an influencer. He's an entrepreneur as well. So I used to actually watch his videos and think about what this guy's really talking about, because back in 2018, no one really spoke about passion, hustle, grinding. It was like some million words. People knew them, but it was like a taboo. Like no one was talking about them. People were just talking about earning money, doing this, and even value. There was nothing like giving people value. So the main person I'd like to thank is Gary Vee. He's one of the person we actually started Practice Your Passion. Also, other people who inspire me are my teammates as well, including DLT. It's because I believe if he wasn't there, if it was someone else, we wouldn't have even started this. Like PYP is where we need someone who is charismatic, like David. So without the combination of me and David, this thing would have never happened. So again, like I'm really inspired by David as well. And yeah, and basically the whole social media. I'd like to also thank people who have always supported us, which has also inspired us to do greater and larger things in PYP.
Yeah. From my end, I'd like to stretch appreciation to guys like Jose Mourinho and Kanye West. I explained about Jose Mourinho earlier because from a football influence, the way he coaches and the way he used to talk to his teammates. But as for Kanye West, I'd like to say the confidence he had to just voice out what he feels is his idea of life. So many of us are scared to actually stand up and talk about our idea of life, because we feel like someone will shoot our idea down because it's stupid or it's pointless. But when you get the courage to just stand up and try shooting for the stars, you never know where you're going to land. You might land in the clouds. And in fact, that's one of his lines in a song from an album that he released back in after late registration. I forgot the album name. It's embarrassing. Well, I was a deep Kanye fan, by the way. I still am, actually. I still watch his videos, still look at his music and some of his interviews. But Kanye West was one of my idols for like a span of 7 or 8 good years. And the reason behind is because he always had confidence. And confidence is something that a lot of people in our generation lack. Because I've seen so many of my friends just literally imitate other people because they find their lifestyle suits them. They don't find their unique selling point. So that's one reason I look at Kanye West. Another guy that I'd like to give a special shout out to in this appreciation weekend is one of my friend's brothers. He started a YouTube channel called Motivational Renegades. Now, Motivational Renegades was literally a channel that you should go to right now. The guy speaks some deep facts that people take extremely lightly. and he talks about Vantage Inspirational Point VIP. And that video really got to me because he was talking about how a lot of us don't have a Vantage Inspirational Point whereby we space ourselves out from the world and we find a room or an atmosphere that allows you to breathe and express yourself and talk to yourself and understand yourself. So like when I started doing that in my own confined environment, I started actually seeing the genesis of Practice Your Passion come to light because it gave me a proper evaluation of myself, and I realized that I love creating value for other people. I love listening to other people's ideas, and at the same time, I love seeing other people create a success story for themselves. Then, other than Motivational Renegades, another special shout out would obviously go to Kingdom City. It's a church I go to actually. The reason why Kingdom City is important is because like they allowed me to understand my relationship with God, and they made me realize that everyone has if you look at the books in the Bible, just Jeremiah 29:11, and it quotes that, for I know the plans I have for you, plans to give you hope and prosperity. And it's one of those verses that I always took lightly, but like when I heard like various preachers from Kingdom City, such as Pastor Mark, Pastor Matfield, Pastor Paul, and a lot of other guys, both on SoundCloud, YouTube, and even seeing them live, open expressly about the love that God has for humanity and the relationship that He wants to have with us. It made me realize about how we actually all have revelations that have to be ignited and pursued. In fact, that's the reason, Kingdom City is the reason we came up with the film Revelations, Ignite and Pursued. Another appreciation I would like to also give out to is more focus from Kingdom City to Pastor Mark himself. There was this sermon he talked about ready, fire, and aim. So he talked about how so many of us are ready to do something, but a lot of us are aiming, trying to find alignment, not believing in ourselves to just get up and actually pursue something immediately. So it got me thinking, like, Practice Your Passion is an idea me and Utsav have. What are we aiming for? We'll sit down and analyze and let's just stop aiming and let's just start firing things out. Let's just start creating success stories. And the more we fail to reach out to people, the more we learn and improve on ourselves. And that's something that he would talk about from Gary Vee's experience, whereby Gary Vee would always say, whenever you have an idea, don't just let it rest on your mind, manifest it into reality. Don't care about other people's expectations in your idea. Create your own expectations, but at the same time, take the constructive criticism seriously to improve and better yourselves, to cater for people who you want to actually target to. And last but not least, the most important person I'd like to thank is Utsav and Imani. The reason why I think these guys is because, as for Utsav, it's because he has this compassion and is very humble and very low-key. At the same time, his mind just works in a whole spectacular level that I have literally never seen. The amount of patience, integrity, and creativity that Utsav has actually triggered a lot of movements that are very important and crucial to practice your passion. And some of this stuff is stuff you're going to see in a span of like 12 months, 1 year, 5 years. You're just going to see it continuously improving. Such as Practice Your Passion in India itself. Despite us going to be in 2 different countries, right, and coming from 2 different backgrounds, he still has the idea of saying, look, why don't we have Practice Your Passion become, instead of just globally, a local organization that focuses on people and inspires success stories out of the environment that we live in. And it got me thinking, like, that's actually super powerful. Instead of just concentrating on reaching out to people globally, we can also make ourselves small and actually improve people's lives locally, people we interact with every day. And then as for Iman, it's the music background that we use. Every song that he has produced literally has created an audience for us and a platform to advertise some of the material we have properly to perfection. And if it wasn't for him to just literally have late nights listening to his own idols, like Jay-Z, and reading books by different inspirational artists and producers out there that he has his own collection of, literally, it wouldn't have birthed some of the music that we are playing in our shows and our advertisements. So other than that, I don't think there's appreciation weekend. I guess can come to an end because we've literally reached out to everyone and shown our appreciation. Is there anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, also, guys, the people we've actually mentioned, they've had a lot of influence in our lives. So we'll actually tag all those people when you're posting this video. So make sure you actually watch their content. They might inspire you as well, and they might change your mindset completely and take you to a whole new level. So yeah, don't forget to watch them.
Thank you very much for watching Appreciation Week and at the same time continuing to follow us through. We do hope we improve, maintain, but also create success stories for everyone we come into contact with that's willing to share their story to the world. Have a good day and remember to practice your
Passion.